Welcome to another episode of Little Talks, your weekly dose of marketing news and insights from Littlefield Agency.
It's good to be back.
Yeah.
It's good to be seen.
Hey, we've missed you for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I know, right? It has been 2 weeks.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
Wow, what a crazy thing. Welcome back to another edition of Little Talks with Littlefield Agency. I am Sam Littlefield, and with me is...
Roop.
And Roop is technically, during this episode...
On an island. Laundering money, which, for those that are listening, you know that would be the Cayman Islands. Yeah.
So
I got to figure out how to do that. I don't know anything about how to do it, but I feel like it's important knowledge to have in Cayman.
Nice, Claude. I love it. Yeah, government, if you're listening, he's not laundering money. He's enjoying time with his family in a wonderful... So as you can pick up now, this is a pre-recorded episode. We are just being proactive here. We got Roop out next week, and which is technically this week while you're listening. We hope you are soaking up some sun. Do you tan?
Not easily.
Okay.
But I will try.
A lot of sunblock.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be nice weather.
100 proof.
Yeah. Well, if Claude was with you, Claude would get Italian tan.
Oh, yeah.
Because you are Italian, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, totally. It's a thing. Okay, hey, with us, it's a very special day. It's Monday, June 3rd. Again, you're listening to this a week from now. We have 3 lovely LITerns in the room with us, right behind the cameras. Yeah, there we go. We've got Lauren, we have Tatum, and we have Careena Campbell. Campbell is the key word there. Careena is Brock's daughter.
Yes.
You knew this.
Yes.
That's good.
Well, yeah, I had a suspicion.
Anyway, Lauren's been here for about 2 weeks now, right? And Tatum joined us on her first day today, and so does Careena. We are so excited to have the 3 of you. They're in the studio with us. They're going to probably spend most of the summer as we're recording, which will be great. They bring an energy and an excitement. It's so funny. Chris Kaiser walked through in the kitchen earlier. I was like, holy cow, it's a party for a Monday. And I was like, dude, I know. It's, bring it. He goes, it's a good thing for a Monday. Yeah. It's a wonderful thing.
And we've historically, in the last couple of years, had the interns actually on the podcast as guests at some point. So later in their tenure here, we may
stay tuned. Yeah, no, don't worry. No pressure. Yeah. It'll be good.
And you can follow their adventures on TikTok
Yeah,
as well.
So they're... Specifically, Careena and Tatum will be handling some of our TikTok. Lauren is a designer by trade, and she's phenomenal. So really excited to have the 3 of you here this summer and in the studio today.
Yeah.
Roop, you're coming off a big evening, a Sunday evening. Can you tell us?
There's so much happening at Littlefield Agency this week.
It's a busy week,
and it started on Sunday this time.
So kick it off.
So you've probably heard us talk here and there about the trivia team. LFG is the name of the team.
Yep. Great team.
F's a little different when we play trivia. It's fun to get the host to say that out loud. But we've been Thursday nights for how long, Claudia? 2 months, 3 months?
Since I started, early February.
Yeah, going to trivia night at a place called Nothing's Left Brewery. I think it's the brewery. And anyhow, they invited us to the citywide championships a couple weeks ago. There were 15 teams.
You invited because you guys regularly compete well. You've won a couple of times.
What we found out was in the period for qualification, we finished first 3 times and second 5 or something. So that kind of jumped us in there.
And can you tell our listeners who the team consists of for the regular?
It's a fluid group, but it's usually Tom, Zach, Jake, me, Claudia, Sarah, Reynolds, Taylor.
That's kind of the core group. Philip goes there from time.
Beth.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's and then spouses and friends show up quite a bit too. But they had us pick 5 to go to this championship that was yesterday. We competed against 15 teams. It was at Shuffles downtown, which was nice. They
Let's go.
Closed it down. We had a huge group that showed up to support us. They had cut out letters of LFG, and when they would show the leaderboards, they would cheer from the other room. They were in another room. We could hear them. It was cool. We were going into the final question in 3rd place, just 3 points behind, which is really one question normally, behind first place. We felt good. But the last questions were 30 points. And if you don't get it right, you lose those points. And if you get it right, you gain those points. So we were not among the group of 5 that got the highest score on that last score. So we dropped, and it dropped us to 7th place. But overall it was really good. Like we competed pretty well.
Hey, I'm proud of you. I think it's awesome that you guys did that, especially on a Sunday evening, right?
Yeah,
That's usually
fun.
kind of your wind down time, and you had a good crew representing. When I saw the post 7th place, I was shocked, but now it makes sense, right? You were super close.
They're still number one in our hearts, though.
Still number one in our hearts.
Boom, Claude, I love it. Well, congrats to you guys. So they're kicking off a great week here. LITerns here today. Wednesday is Littlefield Agency's 44th anniversary in business. We call it Littlefield Agency Day. The mayor in 2020 actually proclaimed June 5th Littlefield Agency Day. I'm pretty sure it's just June 5th, 2020, but I'm just going to roll with every June 5th going forward.
Legal holiday.
So an ode to David Littlefield, our chairman and our founder. Without him, we wouldn't be here.
Do you think we should get that day off? That feels like a vacation day.
And going into topic number 1. Come on, man. Good Lordy. No, we got to celebrate together.
Is it like our birthday? Littlefield's birthday?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
I love it. Yes. So again, when you're listening to this, we'll already have done Littlefield Agency Day. You'll see some posts on social media, but it'll be a great day.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have one main topic. There's Roop right before we went live this morning said, hey, we need to talk about Google's leaked algorithm. We're going to give you just a snippet of information, and then there will be follow-up with this in a couple of weeks. So, Roop, please.
Yeah, so over the weekend, Philip brought this to my attention. He was clowning around corners of the internet and found that the Google core search algorithm had been leaked, and I was kind of suspicious of this at first. Yeah, I was like, how did this happen? And he did some more research on it, and it's real. And so folks are kind of tearing through every line of code that goes into a Google search result. Previously, we knew of about, we've talked about before, maybe a dozen factors that determine a search result on Google. This is all of them. There's over 200. We knew there was over 200. This is exactly what the 200 are. So I'm reading about it now. Other folks are kind of going through it, and we'll probably do a full podcast on it when I get back from the Cayman.
Yeah, and you know what? Beth was glowing this morning. She's our paid search campaign manager. So I think Beth she got sod laid this weekend, which is great. But I think it has to do with this leaked algorithm.
It could.
We will probably have Beth with us or Chris on that episode. It'd be a good one.
So far, I'll say it's nothing too shocking. It's most of the stuff that we kind of already suspected or knew, but like it's a lot to go through. So we'll just do a follow up on it.
Boy, I wonder who's in trouble at Google this morning.
I think it's an ex-employee, and he actually uploaded this to GitHub at the end of March, and it sat there for over a month before somebody took note of it. He's a real pretentious fellow too. I was reading the interview with him right before we came on, and he had like two conditions for the interview. He did not want to be anonymous. He wanted his name out there.
Oh, wow.
And he had this dumb quote that was so pretentious, I don't even want to read it.
Oh, my goodness.
That he demanded be part of the article. And so the guy goes, okay, so here's the quote. He put it in there. I'm like, this has nothing to do with anything.
And here's the leaked algorithm.
This idiot.
Come on, dude.
Anyhow,
Jeez.
who knows? He may be
so more to come there. Our main topic today, topic number 1.5, is what is new with ChatGPT 4.
Is it 4 or 4.0?
4.0. I think
it's 4. It's 4.0.
Here's the thing. Everyone knows this, and we've talked about it a lot over the last year. GPT makes all sorts of different updates. I read articles every day on it. It's important as your partner in all things marketing and just, hey, how are we staying ahead of all things AI?
Yep.
We're going to just talk through some latest and greatest kind of feature releases. Release features?
I think featured
release features.
Yeah, release features.
In my head.
Updated features?
Updated features. We're going to talk you through some of those today. Just the implications, et cetera. Roop's going to lead this, and then we'll just kind of close with some thoughts of, hey, this summer and maybe some of your downtime, how do you tap into some AI resources? So
yeah,
Roop, please.
So this happened about a month ago, so we're kind of late to the party here. We had other stuff, people out, and we wanted to see how it was going to shake out overall. It is out there now. If you have a free ChatGPT account, you have access to this. So they gave this massive, pretty cool update to paid users and free users. And usually on the free side, they kind of throttle you down to like a lower version of ChatGPT, but they gave this to the free folks too. So there's some kind of, if you've used ChatGPT at all, even if you just use it to like check your grammar or spelling or do some research for an article or do your homework if you're in schools, things like that, you get the idea. You type stuff in, you ask it a question, and AI returns a result, and then you have to, of course, check that result because it's not always accurate. Sometimes ChatGPT makes some things up. It can make some crazy stuff up. So anyhow, the new updates here, I'll cut straight to the biggest one.
Yeah.
they showed this as a demo, and it was kind of wild. You can actually use your camera now to show it like the live environment around you, and it can react to that. And in the demo, it had a guy who had his smartphone, and he was asking ChatGPT, "Tell me what I'm showing you." And he was just kind of showing.
It'd be like if we're in the studio right now. Yeah.
And he's just kind of showing around here, and it said, "I'm in a well-lit room with a plant in the corner, and there's a guy with a red shirt on," and like it described the room. Then they took two of these, two different phones, and it can also listen, so it can hear. So it has voice commands now, which doesn't seem too revolutionary, right? Like Siri does that, Alexa does that, but they don't do this. They talk to each other. So they had one of the phones ask a question to the other phone, and it would answer back and forth, and they were talking. And one of the phones had the camera on. So one said, "What do you see?" to the other bot. And the bot said, "I see a room with a flower and a guy in a red shirt." And I said, "Great, can you tell me more about the guy in the red shirt?" And kind of quickly, everyone's mind goes to, well, Terminator's here. This is Skynet is live. But like it's learning, not just from the stuff we're inputting, but from the stuff it sees and the stuff it can ask itself now, which is
that's insane.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
So the big lead off, I wrote some bullet points down here though. The big one was they call it multimodal capabilities, and that's the ability to process both text, images, and responses to visual content as well as text queries. It can generate content or understand commands in voice, text, or images. So it's just basically what I just described, right? It can also take things and kind of summarize up into like a chart. So one of the things I saw that was pretty neat is you could throw a bunch of data at it and say, "Hey, organize this in a way I can understand it. Summarize this in a pie chart."
Yep.
And it does that, which was super dope. So like its ability to kind of see things, get things inputted into it, and kind of kick out a result based on what it thinks you want from that is getting faster, having more input capabilities, more access to external resources. It's pretty big.
It's getting smarter.
It's getting a lot smarter, and it was already pretty smart. This was a big one if you're a developer, and you've probably seen every one of the apps that you like or websites that you visited has some AI capabilities now, which I always thought was kind of funny, really. But that's just going to get even crazier. They've opened this GPT 4.0 up to developers through an API. API allows different services to talk to each other on the internet. Nothing new for chat there. That's an old code thing, but making it easier for developers to develop their own applications and uses for it using it as the brain. And yeah, they dropped the price, half the price and twice as fast as GPT-4 Turbo.
Unbelievable.
So usually things get more expensive. They're getting cheaper and faster here.
And we talked about discussing this a month ago, and to Roop's point, right? So much changes. Who knows what we're going to be talking about, in July topics. To our LITerns, do you all use any sort of AI for school or life? Okay, nice. Yeah, we got that. Okay, cool. So we got head nods.
It's for writing homework papers, right?
Here's the never.
No, they said no.
Never. There are platforms for that now.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. One thing that we really focus on as an agency, and something that we're going to talk about here shortly in June and July, is for those that are listening in the world of marketing, right? This isn't replacing us. We've talked about this in past podcasts. It's an efficiency tool, right? How are you using it to the best of your ability in a smart way? We always check it, right? We're always we're using so many different AI tools here. The big thing is what can you be doing in the sense of, we call it AI first mentality, right? One thing a day, 5 things a day. What can you be doing to try to make your day more efficient? The biggest thing that we found, and just looking at this multimodal capability that you just described, is wild, right? That is a new shiny feature. We'd ask that you all, in the sense of better understanding AI, prompting, right?
Yeah,
we've had lots of conversations. One of the big things here is extended context handling, understanding vast and deep amounts of information. And so, for our LITerns here, as you use it in your daily role, et cetera, a simple prompt of do X, Y, Z, right? That's very simple. Some prompts that I've seen are 3,000 words.
Yeah, actually, Chris kind of brought this to my attention.
Yeah.
The limit on the prompting was a problem for him. And some of the things I was like, oh my God, how much prompting you're writing. And so for him, that was probably the biggest update on 4.0 was it could handle longer prompts.
And Chris has straight up told us he'll spend an hour on a prompt.
Yep.
He will spend an hour, which is a lot of time. Because again, most people think, I could just shoot this in, it shoots this out. And no, the more, you bring up customizable tone and style. That's huge, especially in our business, especially across all things marketing. That's one of the most important things in the sense of resonating with target audiences. So spending that time with it, understanding this is great. These are great features. It's just going to continue to get smarter and better.
Yeah, and if you haven't been playing with it up to this point, you might feel lost in some ways. You're like, oh, God, I'm overwhelmed. There's so much. The thing Chris and I talk a lot about, and we try to meet every Friday to have literally dedicate an hour of time just talking about AI opportunities, implementations for clients, for ourselves, and then how we're going to build those, who needs to be involved.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. So like if you feel like you're lost on this, it's okay. It's fine. Most of us do feel kind of lost on it. Even Chris tells me something, like I use it differently than he does.
Of course.
So if you can get a couple people together and just meet once a week and say, here's a problem we have at the office, or a thing that we could maybe make better, or, Ruth over here in accounting is always doing this stuff by hand, and she keeps all these documents. Is there a way we can use that stuff in a way that's smarter for us as a business, or in our case as an agency? How can we use this data in a way that speeds things up, makes it cleaner, whatever the case? And that's kind of the approach we're taking. We come up with our problems first and then say, is there an AI solution to this?
Yes,
Then,
that's a great way to put it.
How do we implement that AI solution?
Perfect.
And so you just kind of got to break it down.
It does. It takes time. I mean, Roop and I were talking last week. I was scrolling through Instagram, and an agency that I follow, right under their handle, it said, this post made with AI. And I was like, that's new, right? Really interesting to the two of us.
Yeah, and that's a whole thing right now. Meta and I believe TikTok and YouTube are all about this, or in the process of rolling out AI labels for things they detect that are AI. Some of them ask you as you upload it, is this AI? And you can say no, but they still kind of detect it, right?
Yeah.
So be honest on that. I suspect it'll pay off in the long run. But yeah, they're starting to label those, which is also good.
Also, I've got a good friend. He actually started an AI company based on what you just described. Hey, there's so many things that can be automated. Where do I start? That's his whole role. So if you're interested, please shoot me a note. I'd be happy to connect you. His name's Chris Johnson. He owns another agency. He's amazing. He's based out of Phoenix, but it's only getting better. It's really interesting. And I think these are great updates as we kind of kick off this month of June, and just looking forward to what's ahead.
Yeah. So go play with it. It's free. Go Google around or just ask ChatGPT. I don't know anything about you. Tell me.
Yeah.
And it'll tell you.
No, that's awesome.
Where do I start?
So, Roop, you're currently in the Caymans. I hope you are soaking up that sun. I hope you're having a wonderful time.
I'm in Stingray City.
We can't wait to hear all about it when you're back. And again, to the government, Roop is not laundering money. It's all good. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Roop, thank you for this topic.
Yeah.
Welcome to our LITerns, and we will see you next time.
Adios.
And that's a wrap. We hope you've enjoyed our little chat and found ways to grow your own marketing strategies. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on social media @Littlefield Agency.